Are we live? We might be. I wonder if we are. I've not used this for ages. So, greetings Facebook. It's the inevitable Rowan J. Parker. I don't know why I'm doing this on a Sunday afternoon. I just feel like doing it for a change, for something different. There's quite a lot of live streams last year, which were pretty good. Good fun, actually. And then I've kind of fallen off the wagon a bit, you know, like a terrible alcoholic. So anyway, this live stream is gonna be all about melodic minor, and it's gonna be hello. I'll wave at you. Look, I'm waving at you. Hello. It's all about melodic minor, fairly kind of easy static stuff, and I'm going to show you the things you can play. Show you some of the crap that I play. No, it's not crap. It's quality. Quality, I tell you. Hello there, Michael. So I want you to play a little bit, and then I'll talk about the stuff that I'm doing. Alright? So here's a simple little two chord count them, 2-chord backing track. Can't handle more than 2 chords, not on a Sunday. Certainly can't handle playing over changes on a Sunday. And the chords are, you must know, A melodic, A minor 6, and it's a D9 with a sharp 11 on it. So it's a sort of 2-5. Hello Nick. It's a sort of 2-5, but we've kind of got a melodic minor thing going on. So it's really just A melodic minor, diatonic A melodic minor. Piece of cake, really. So let's play a little bit, see what comes out, and then we'll talk about some of the things I'm playing. Alright, sound like a plan? Maybe. Alrighty, so hello there, hello everyone, how's it all going? Melodic minor time. So for those of you who don't know exactly what the scale is, A melodic minor is following notes. It's A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp and A. And there's two ways you can think about this scale. You can either think about it like a major scale with a flattened third. So for instance, A major would be A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp and A. So it's like that, except you flatten the third, giving you A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp and A. You can think of it that way. The only problem about that is that when you think about it that way, then you've kind of got the sound of the major scale in your head, or I'm thinking of the major scale in any case, and I don't really like that. So I prefer to think about it this way. I prefer to think about it like a Dorian mode with a raised seventh. So A Dorian would be A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G and A. So I'm really just thinking about like Dorian but sharp 7. A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Alright, so that's the way to approach the scale when you're thinking about it. Think about it rather like a Dorian mode with a sharpened 7th, because in actual general use you conflate together. Hello everyone, hello. I'm saying hello to you all. There was a bit of a lag. In general use, when you use those two scales together, if you conflate them together, you sort of mash them together and you make one continuous scale, and what I like to call the DeLorean mode, which can get you back to the future. Haha. Yeah, so wherever you can use Dorian, you can use melodic minor in a lot of situations, and it's really useful to think about them that way. So I tend to conflate them that way. Alright, so let's kind of go through the track and give you some real super basic things you can play, and then we'll gradually get some more complicated ideas, alright? And I'll show you some of the things that I play, or conceptually the things that I play, not necessarily licks or patterns, because I try to stay away from them. But I do like having a concept and applying the concept. So here's the first extremely low rent thing we can play on this backing track, right, which is A minor 6 to D9 raise 11. We can play A minor pentatonic or blues, shock horror. Nothing wrong with that though. Which is all very nice indeed, and kind of standard harmonic vocabulary. One of the things you'll notice, a couple of things. Right now I'm not using my plectrum. I'm finding that a lot of the time, hello there everyone, I'm finding a lot of the time now when I just put the plectrum down and just use my thumb, even though it's incredibly low rent, it's quite good because it stops me playing all the kind of habitual sort of ideas I would play with a plectrum. Maybe I'm playing habitual ideas with a thumb, I don't know, but it does seem to lend to a slightly more sort of melodic feel, and I slow down a lot, so that's the idea. So it means I'm trying to connect on a deeper level with what I'm actually hearing internally, rather than just playing, you know, a whole bunch of shreddy licks. I'm really trying to get away from that now. You've all heard me shred, it's no big deal. I'm really just trying to play something I hear in my head, and trying to translate that through onto the instrument. It's extremely hard to do, but that's what I'm trying to do. Alright, so that's our kind of choice number one, which would be A minor pentatonic or blues scale. Now, there is a pentatonic scale within the melodic minor scale. So, in the melodic minor scale, the pentatonic scale is on the 2nd degree of the melodic minor scale. So if you're in A melodic minor, the minor pentatonic that is within that scale is B minor pentatonic. Alright, so B minor pentatonic is within A melodic minor. So it's one of our choices. We can play that. You got A, B, D, E, F sharp, A. So you hear those notes are all within melodic minor. So we can in fact then play that scale over this little 2-chord loop, which will work fine. So what we could do then, just for a little bit of mixture, we could mix A minor with B minor pentatonic and just kind of switch between the two of them. And I'm not really switching at any particular point, I'm just switching when I feel like it. I mean, I could kind of play A minor pentatonic on the A minor 6, then B minor pentatonic on the D9, but I'm not even thinking that closely or tightly. I'm just switching whenever I feel like it. So, yeah. So that works really nicely, just switching between the two scales. A minor pentatonic and B minor pentatonic, and just do it whenever you like. Okay, right chaps, all three of you. We find the subject of melodic minor endlessly fascinating. We're going to do a little bit just with the straight scale now, right? So A melodic minor, I should say in this form of melodic minor it's sometimes called real melodic minor or jazz minor, and what that means is the same in both directions. So traditional melodic minor ascends one way and descends the other. Traditional melodic minor is A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A on the ascent, but on the descent is A, G, F, E, D, C, B and A. So that's kind of their traditional classical melodic minor. Sounds like this. So it's really like melodic minor going up an Aeolian going down, but in its use in jazz, contemporary music fusion, it's just the same in both directions with the raised 6th and 7th both ways. So in which case it's usually called jazz minor. Sometimes you hear people calling it real melodic minor, but yeah, jazz minor I'll do. I just call it melodic minor because I never use the alternate form in the descent, and most jazz players don't. So let's just play the scale straight against the track so we can hear it, and then we'll just fiddle around with it, and I'll try and keep it pretty much scalar rather than try and do anything else much with it. Alright, so here's the scale. Alright, so you can sort of hear how that sounds. It's a really nice sound, works against the track really nicely, has sort sort of wistful moments and quite dark moments. So let's just fiddle around with it a little bit and see what we can come up with. Should come up with something quite nice. Nice thing about the scale is it doesn't matter what note you land on in the scale, it sounds good against the track. I can finish on any of the scale degrees and it sounds nice. It's either a nice, it's a strong chord tone, or it's an interesting colour tension. Let me just show that by playing slowly through the scale, and you hear that every note sounds good. It's kind of impossible. Thank you, Nick. So you see, it's kind of impossible to play a bad note. It's as long as you, well, of course you can play notes which are outside, but that's a whole topic for another video. The point is, it doesn't matter what degree of the scale you land on and sustain against the chord, it'll sound great. So it'll either be a principal chord tone or a lovely, interesting colour tone. And the notes which are kind of the most interesting are the ones that sort of define melodic minor. So in this key, I guess that's going to be F sharp and G sharp. Those are the kind of the cool notes, if you like, and those are the ones you want to lean on. Those are the ones that sound really good to me. So let's just fiddle a little bit around a little bit more with the scale and see what we can come up with. Now, there is one thing I'm doing here, which I do quite a lot, is I do play a lot of passing tones in the scale lines, so you won't just hear me play. You'll probably hear me play. You will hear me play things like. So what the hell actually is that? Well, you know, I would love to tell you something really advanced and incredibly clever, but it's not. It is really an extremely low rent idea, and I'll share with you what this idea is, right? So the idea is, whatever scale shape you have, let's just say we have this A melodic minor scale, 3 notes per string, good old 3 notes per string, and all we're going to do is fill it in chromatically. So in every string, we just put in all the semitones. So I've got a shape like this, then that becomes, and I've got a shape like this, that also becomes, and I've got a shape like this, it usually becomes that. So in that case, so there's my chromatic chromaticized melodic minor scale with you know, a bunch of really kind of, obviously these passing tones are not in the scale, so if you were to land on them, it would probably sound pretty bad, but the idea is that you pass through them. That's why they're called passing tones, right? You don't actually land on them, and if you pass through them, then it's still, you still capture the sound of the scale, the tonality of the scale, but you have these more interesting sort of colours which move by, because we're playing the lines in 16th notes. We're not on the dissonant notes for long enough for them to really register as sounding, well, that sounds a bit funny. All we hear and perceive is the flow of the line. So let me just play a little bit of that, where I'm just going to play melodic minor scales and then just pass through using a bunch of chromaticized scale shapes, really. Low rent, but it works. So I think you see how that concept works. It's quite a simple concept, but it lends a lot of kind of fluidity to the lines. So whenever you hear me play those kind of little chromatic slurs, that's really all I'm doing. I'm thinking about the diatonic scale, and then just filling in. And in that case, you can pretty much fill in an entire chromatic scale. And it really just depends on the note you land on. So if you land on a good chord tone or a scale tone, it'll sound fine, because you don't perceive the dissonance, it just kind of moves through. Alright, so that's the scales. We've got the pentatonic scales, and then we've looked at the straight scale, the melodic minor scale. And what we might do is kind of start dissecting the scale and then seeing what's actually inside the scale that we could use in addition, right? So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what's called triad pairs. So you find major triads in a melodic minor scale on the fourth and fifth degrees of the melodic minor scale, right? So question being, if it's A melodic minor, what are fourth and fifth chords of that? Well, it's quite simple. It's D and E, and these both generate major triads. So we've got a D major triad, well, it's D, F sharp and A, so D, F sharp, A, and then an E major triad, which is E, G sharp and B. So we need to think what these notes are in relationship to the actual principal chord. So thank you for liking the video. Hello Kit, how we doing, buddy? So what we got then in this D major triad, D, F sharp, A in relationship to A minor 6. This is like 4 or 11, and then the F sharp is major 6, and then the A is obviously just the root. And then the E major triad in relationship to A minor, we have E, which is the 5th, G sharp, which is the major 7th, and B, which is the 9th. So that's going to be really nice. And again, we can play these triads at any point. So I'm just going to do a little solo just using D major and E major triads, and try and play nothing but those two triads. Alright? So first of all, we'll just play the triads straight, and then we'll just do the usual thing and start mucking around with them. Okay, here's D major triad, E major triad, let's just fiddle around. Obviously I know these triads quite a number of places, so let's just see what happens. So, they sound quite interesting. As well as the triads, you can also play the dominant 7th arpeggio, so we can also play D7 and E7, because again they're the 4th and 5th chords of the, thank you. These are the 4th and 5th chords of A melodic minor, so let's just expand this a little bit and put the 7ths in as well. So we'll have D7 and E7 arpeggios over this. Alright, okay. And actually no, it's not the Grandmeister, that's just my little Hughes and Kettner 50-watt blue with a clean tone. I've rolled off most of the tone on guitar and there's a little bit of reverb and a tiny bit of delay. So yeah, it's all in the fingers, all in the fingers. Okay, so where are we now? So let's look at some of the other things we've got inside the scale then. So we've got that as the D and E major triads from within the A melodic minor scale, and we've got the D7 and E7 arpeggios which are also from the scale. Let's look at what else we've got. There's some other little, oh thank you very much Nick, very kind of you. There's some other interesting things which are inside melodic minor, and that is an augmented sound. So the scale A melodic minor contains this triad C augmented triad, right, which is the notes of C, E and G sharp. Now the interesting thing about an augmented chord, as you probably know, is that the distance between all the notes in the chord is a major third. So when you invert the chord in a major third interval, it's just the same notes. So C augmented and E augmented and G sharp augmented all contain the same notes and they're practically the same chord. We just, you know, we can regard it as C or E or G sharp depending on what note is in the bass. So for instance, C augmented C, E, G sharp, C, and E augmented is E, G sharp, C, E, and then G sharp augmented is G sharp, C, E, G sharp. So I can play any of these augmented sounds over the track and it will work. So let's try that then. Shall we try a little bit of augmented goodness? Let's try that. Don't do that like. So that's a very cool sort of sound. That augmented sound is really awesome. So here's another related sound which is kind of starts getting a little bit outside, but I kind of again mash these things together in my mind. So E augmented or C augmented or G sharp augmented could also then lead you to that whole tone scale. If I can play like E whole tone or D whole tone, C whole tone, it's all the same whole tone scale, right? So all this whole tone material I can play over the top of this track, and the only thing that's really dissonant is if you think about what E whole tone would contain is E, which is the 5th, and then F sharp, which is the major 6, G sharp, which is the major 7, then the B flat, well that's the flat 9, right? So that's a little bit problematic. Flat 9 though, that's okay. Hi Nick, how you doing? And then C, well that's the flat 3, and then D is the 4 or 11, and then E we're back to the 5th. So the only note which is a little bit questionable is that flat 9. Well, flat 9 on minor chords is actually okay, so I think we can get away with that. So let's just see what happens when we start going into bizarro whole tone land. What I'll do is I'll play in and then start to go out. Like that, kind of kooky. Cool, isn't it? Nasty. That B flat's quite dissonant, but if you really listen to it, you kind of wrap your ear around it a little bit. Alright, so that's kind of the augmented stuff and the whole tone stuff that will fit. Let's see what else we got going. Yeah, I like it. It's that flat 9. It's dissonant, but it's cool. There's another couple of arpeggios which I use. So remember we looked at the triad pairs, which were chords which are side by side, tone apart. So we've got a D and E major triads and our D and E dominant 7th chords. Well, there's another set of 2 arpeggios which are a tone apart we can use, and that'll be the minor 7 flat 5 arpeggios, which are on the 6th and 7th degree of the scale. So we've got F sharp minor 7 flat 5 and G sharp minor 7 flat 5, which are the 6th and 7th arpeggios of A melodic minor. So needless to say, we can use those as well. So if you actually think about what I'm doing here, all I'm really doing is I'm just taking information from the scale. With the exception of the whole tone stuff, which is a little bit outside, everything else is coming directly from the A melodic minor scale, harmonised in some way. So let's do maybe minor 7 flat 5. So we've got F sharp minor 7 flat 5, say, and then G sharp minor 7 flat 5. And more positions for it. Sorry. I've really only got about a couple of arpeggio shapes for this, but you don't need more than a couple. So let's see what happens here, shall we? Let's do this minor 7 flat 5, and we'll kind of exploit some of the tritone stuff within these chords. I'll come back to this, but I'll explain it a little bit more But let me just, for just now, we'll do minor 7 flat 5 arps. Right, so there's a kind of interesting few things in that, and that is when you play these arpeggios, there are a bunch of tritones or flat and fifths in there. So for instance, F sharp to C, you've got that. And then you also have exactly the same thing a tone above, G sharp D, G sharp D, G sharp D. And so it's kind of the flat fives that are inside that arpeggio. So let's do a kind of mad little solo where we just kind of use the flat fives and see what that sounds like. Interesting, I would think. So, flat five stuff is in there as well. And what else have we got left? I'm digging towards the bottom of the barrel now. Another arpeggio I use quite a bit will be major 7 sharp 5. In this case it'd be C major 7 sharp 5, which is like an E triad over a C bass. I think I'm adding the A note in there as well, so it's probably a bit like more like an A minor major 9 arpeggio that I'm really playing this sort of sound. That sort of sound, yeah, for sure. But I do play that one. And if I just like that one, you'll hear me play it often. Whenever you hear me play a line like anything like that sort of thing, that's a major 7 sharp 5 arp. So C major 7 sharp 5 arpeggio. Here we go. Alright, so let's just review then, because there's a lot of material here. So with this 2-chord group, we can do A minor pentatonic or blues scale. Do B minor pentatonic or blues scale. We can play the A melodic minor scale. We can do the triad pairs, D and E major triad pairs, and we can do the dominant 7th arpeggio pairs, which is D7 and E7 arpeggio pairs. We can do another pair of arpeggios, the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 and the G sharp minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio pairs. the augmented material, which would be C, E and G sharp augmented, and we can also play the E whole tone scale. We want to go a little bit out. So, you see the number of possibilities of things we can play is just insane. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, the thing we discussed was the chromatic passing tones. Alright, so I think I'll just do a final solo before we wrap this one up. And I'll just see if I can sort of combine everything, but I'm not really going to think about it too much. I won't put a conscious effort into trying to use these things, I'll just try and let it flow. Yeah, I'll put it up on YouTube, sure. I'll just try and let this flow and see if I can play anything good. And I'm going to attempt to connect with what I hear in my mind. Attempt to, anyway. What could possibly go wrong? So this track is 5 minutes long, so I might just solo out for 5 minutes and see what comes out. Voila! Alright chaps, I think that'll do it. Maybe not my finest hour of playing, but still not bad, a lot of good information. So I'll catch you on the next one. I hope to do these a bit more regularly this summer, so we'll see how we got on. Okay, take it easy, see you next time. Farewell.